So let's take a look at the image file format that you'd want to use with our simple video driver. Spoiler alert, 8-bit bitmap. So we can see I've got a logo included up in the top right here of this nice graphical user interface or display. You could use multiple images to create boxes and whatever you wanted really. But what you need to know is the file format that you need to use. So let me open up a Paint program and we'll just take a look at that. I'm using paint.net here on a Windows system, but you can use obviously your operating system and Paint program of choice. The theory is the same. So I'm starting with a PNG image file format. Doesn't really matter what we're starting with. It just matters what we end with. So I'm just going to adjust this image slightly by, I'm just going to crop it down because we don't need all this white area around the image. And I'm going to resize it to be suitable for our screen, bearing in mind we're using this very small monitor, which is 640 pixels wide. So we don't really want an image that's wider than that. So let me just put this to, let's say, I don't know, 300 pixels wide. And the height there has been calculated at 57. So, okay, no, that's a nice small image. Right, so we'll just save that. Choose the bitmap file format. Give it an appropriate name. So logo, what was it, 300 times 56 or 57? Can't remember now. Logo 300 times 56, we'll call it, and save. Right, this is really important. So bit depth, you want to use 8-bit. Okay, of all the options you might be presented, 8-bit is what we want to use with the simple driver. Now, other configurations, video drivers, and you can find some help with that in our forums. You could use different bit depths, but we want to use 8-bit because that's the most conservative in terms of memory. You'll see if you use a larger bit depth, the size of the image jumps up. And 8-bit is the smallest format that gives you, the color resolution that we want. So 8-bit, and that's it. Click OK. So that's our image created. Now I can quickly show you how to use that in our software now. So if I just pull up some code, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and add this new logo file. Let me just find, there we go, copy. I'm just copying it from another screen. Okay, so I've copied the path now. Right, so we'll call it logo image. Okay, and coming in from a file, and that's the file name. And yeah, that's all we need to do. So, and now we just need to decide where it's going to be displayed. So let's see, we've got this existing background image, so we'll just copy paste that code. Video load image, so we'll load a second image and we'll just change that to logo. And we want to change the X and Y coordinates, otherwise I'll just be drawing this new image over that one. We could give it some values of, let's say, 200 by 200. Well, why don't we just say, why don't we do that? Why don't we say, okay, the X size of the video screen minus the width of our image is 300, divide by 2. So that will get us to the center point of the screen. And we could actually do the same on the y-axis. Video.y size divide by 2. That will get us roughly to the middle of the screen, although in theory you might want to deduct the offset of the height, but it's not much. Logo image and then true. Now true is an interesting thing to know. So when you load an image, you've got pixel X, pixel Y. So these are the origin coordinates of your image. And bearing in mind with the let me just go back to the camera and I'll show you. Bearing in mind with the simple driver, this corner here, top left, is your 0, 0 point, much like you develop HTML web pages. So this is 0, 0, So along the x-axis, we go from 0 through to 640 pixels on this particular resolution that we're working with. And then on the y-axis, we go from 0 down to 480 pixels. So this is your 0, 0. So let me just go back to the code. And yeah, so what you will see is if we had image, yeah, so you set your x and y pixels for your coordinates of where you want things to start from. The image address is the address of the image saved in your code, which is which we've used that name down the bottom as a file import statement. And then image flip is true here. Well, let's just put that to false to start with, just so you can see what happens. But basically, because on a HTML web page and also this simple video driver, the top left is 0, 0. But on the graphics program, often the bottom left is 0, 0. So we've drawn that image in the graphics program so that a human could read the thing easily. It's the right way up for us, but it's the wrong way up, if you like, for the it's the reverse of the screen. So you'd want to flip it. So anyway, we'll just put it to false, and you'll see that happen. Now let me just bring up the video screen of the device, and I'll just load that code in. So it'll just go black for a moment, and then it will load up with the new code. So there we go. So we've now added that logo, and you can see it's upside down. So I'll just quickly set that back to true, and then Control R to reload the code back into the propeller. There you go, right way up. So there's our logo. So that's how you create logos, 8-bit bitmap format. That's how you bring them into your code by using the file statement and then assigning a name, a tag name, file statement, and whatever the file address is. And that's how you use the load image statement to display the image on your screen. So I hope that was helpful, and thank you for watching.